Hello, Yuki fam, and welcome to our first look for Yuki's Critter Den, which is a new VR chat world I am working on for the last few days, and it's going to be coming out tomorrow as part of our live stream for VR chat tomorrow. I'll be playing as Sonic tomorrow, but I am shady tonight. I do not want to change it, and there is no voice mod because I want to make sure you guys understand what I'm saying when I'm doing these type of world tours. So this is Yuki's Critter Den, and I want to show you guys around. But first, this is where you can play D&D as well as some other table games like Fablecraft and LCR, which I'm going to introduce to you once that is in play. Keep in mind that persistence is not in this world yet, so I would have a notebook handy for each session to save stats and stuff. So persistence, if you guys do not know, is where you can save stuff. But I do not have it yet because I need to learn how to implement that yet. So make sure you have like a paper, like a notebook, like a regular D&D session before you dive in. Persistence will be in this world with in a later update. Remember to have fun, roll dice, and as always, as Matt Mercer likes to say, is it Thursday yet? If you go over to here, you're gonna open the door to the den, literally. So if you guys do not know how to play D&D, I will give you guys a little rundown during this video, but I want to show you guys around. So this is where you, if you are going to play as a DM, would sit. That is your DM spot. You have your campaign notes, you have your initiative order, and all that cool stuff over here. Now I might be putting something in here, but I don't wanna spoil it yet. And you have your dice. The box thing in here is like your dice roller. The little roll of the dice. Now I got these assets from somewhere. I will be putting credits when it's ready. Now keep in mind that this is the D4, this is the D6, this is the D8, and I believe this is the D12. You might be wondering where's the God dice, the D20. Well, it's right over here. Actually, I forgot to put one for the DM, but if you need some more dice, you can go to that table. And I dropped it. I got a 19. Now, to read the dice, make sure the number on top will be the one that is correct, that is going to be recorded for the damage, for the checks, and all that. So, like here, I got a 10 on this dice right here. The six, I got a 3. If I can nail it in there, I got a 4. You do not need to use the dice roller thing if you do not want to. I just put it there just in case. Okay, for the triangle, the D4, the number on top is the one that is going to be called. So in this example, the number 2 will be in there. If it lands like this, it is cocked. Therefore, you have to re-roll until you get something like this. This will count because the number on top is showing that it's a 4. That's a 1, and that's a 2. That's cocked. That's a 4. So make sure it's the dice on top. For the D10, it's the dice that's going to be on the most top. So in this case, we have the 2. Okay? We have the 5, and another 2, and a 7. Okay? Make sure it's the number on top. Or, if you want to make it easier, the number facing you. 2, 3, 5, 4. I will be fixing the chairs before release. Now, if you need some more dice, for example, let's say you need a 2d7, 2d, 2d10, 2d6 plus 1, you can grab another dice here if you need another one, like this. You just go back to your spot and you roll it at your spot. I try my best to make it available to the dice roller. 3. I will get a 2 there. 3. If the dice goes out of bounds, like it goes away from the box roller, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I do that in real life too, so don't worry. Now, let's go over around the table and see what is available to each player when they stand or sit at the table if you wish. The dice, you have a D4, D6, D20, D12, and D10. I believe this is D12, if I remember correctly. Okay. On the right, on the middle here, in some cases, you have your campaign notes as well as your character stats. So I want to go over each one so that you guys know what exactly you are doing and a little rundown of D&D as well. So any notes you want to take, put them in here. Now, for character name, just put a character name. Like, for example, Yuuki. HP, your HP, 90. And then your AC or defense is going to be, let's say, 12, 14. And your temporary HP is going to be, let's say, 0. Most of the time, you're going to have 0. Strength, let's say 12. Your modifier would be +1 by the rules. Intelligence, let's say 14. Your your modifier would be +2. Let's say wisdom, 10. Your modifier is 0. Would be +0. If I can get it into there, I'm gonna fix that. Okay, and keep filling out numbers as well. All right. Now over here is your inventory. Let's say you have a potion of healing, and then you can put 1d, let's say 1d6 +1. I'm gonna have to fix some of the stuff here before I release it. And then weapons and armor, let's say short sword, and it's gonna be, if I can do a new line, 1d6, 1d6 +1, or something like that. Then, if you want to use it, you can put it in your equip column. Okay, now there's another way I'm gonna be doing this if it's needed, and there's a system where there's tabs for you already. I'm showing you this as a developer so you guys know where this is going to be eventually headed to. Okay. Also around the area here, some rules. So let's just say, for example, the DM is about to call initiative, as in combat is about to start. So I'm gonna be over here and say, "Hey, everybody, get ready. We're gonna roll initiative." And then everybody rolls their d20. Let's say over here, I'm gonna roll that again. That is gonna be a 7. No, that's a 15. Higher number rules. That's a 15. And this player rolled a 13. 15, 13. And then this player over here rolled a 6. And then the DM, playing as the monsters, of course, is gonna roll a 19. So that is where the initiative order comes into play. So whoever is first goes first based on initiative order. Now let's just say that I'm gonna pick a random name on the table here. I'm gonna put another name here. let's say Tina is about to call an attack here. Let's say she has a sword 1d6 plus 4. Now, keep in mind this is Dungeons and Dragons we're playing. The DM says, "Okay, go ahead and check to see if you hit." You roll your d20. I believe that is gonna be a. I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna re-roll this. The most highest number looks like to be 11. So 11. Tina is gonna call 11. The DM is gonna say hit or miss, depending on a number based on the AC of the enemy. If the AC of the enemy is lower than this number you rolled, you hit. Otherwise, you miss if your roll is less than. Then you roll your damage dice, which is 1d6 plus 4, which is just one of these, and then you add 4. I'm going to re-roll that. So 6 plus 4 is 10. So Tina, using her sword, takes out her sword, slashes the slime, and the slime bursts into pieces after taking 10 damage. Something like that. Like the DM would describe it that way. On the other side, same thing with the DM, they have to attack eventually. So this slime goes back after Tina. This time there is a number. Let's say the number is 14. And this number is 20. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, okay, the slime is going to go out after you, Tina. And I'm going to roll my d20 if I was the DM. And I got a 6 because that's the highest number on the thing here. Is 6 greater than 14 shown here? No. Therefore, I miss as the DM. Therefore, the slime jumps into Tina, but Tina sidestep easily, avoiding the hit, or sometime in that some type of fashion. Keep in mind that this is just me describing things. Okay, now once the battle's over, you do your normal D&D material and storytelling, and yeah, there you go. Now there's two other systems I would like to introduce you to. There is the Nimble 5e system that was just recently released, and here's how that works. I won't call for a check unless otherwise required. You just go directly to the damage dice. So, for example, let's go back to Tina again. So, I'm gonna say 12 for strength, and I'm gonna say +1 for her bonus. So I'm gonna say that Tina has the sword again, 1d6 plus 4. But instead of checking, she can go straight into attacking because of nimble. So I'm gonna roll for Tina here, and I got a 2. I add my 4 because of my bonus, and my final damage is 6. So 6 plus 4, that means 6 plus 2. I mean 4 plus 2 is 6. So I deal 6 damage to the slime. But let's just say, for example, that this dice for some reason decides to be nice and gives you a 6. Because it's a 1d6, you rolled max, and that is a critical hit by the rule. Okay, so 6, and then you continue going. I rolled a 3, so 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 4. So 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 4 is 13. You deal 13 damage because it was a critical hit. What happens if you get under 6? You keep going until you don't get a 6. Okay, that's how that works for nimble. If the base dice is considered to be 2d6, then in order to hit, you must have any number other than a 1 on the left side of your board. For example, I rolled a 5, and I'm gonna steal a dice from this player just because I can. Actually, that's the wrong one. Thank you. I also rolled a 6. So 6 plus 5 is going to be my final number, and that's 11. If that was another 6, that's a critical hit. If that was a 1, then will be determined by where is that dice. If this dice is over here, and that was the 1, and it's more on the left side, that's a miss. That is a miss. If the dice is on the left and it's the 1, when the base damage is 2dx, 2d6, or 2dx based on the dice, that is a miss. Okay? For critical hit, both of them have to roll max. And 3d6 is the same thing. Now, what about the other system, Fablecraft? So this is based on the game Tales of Fablecraft, which you can get for free on Steam. But this dice is required. It's a different dice, so you will not be able to use this. So that's why I said the dice will be in a different update. Players roll based on how many dice they have. For example, up to 2 based on the character. A player rolling a blank with nothing on it by default will miss. A star or 2 stars on the dice means a hit. But an X means either a miss or -1 star if you have one. Rolling 2 blanks or 2X means an automatic miss, or for the case of a spell, a miscast, which is a miss. In addition, rolling 1 star and 1X means a miss as well, because 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay? The next major update for that will have that dice. I'm actually going to custom make that. Okay? Now, just because this is D&D and I made this world does not mean my rules apply. Why? Yes, I am making this VR chat world. However, there are some cases where a player wants to try being a DM. Therefore, their rules apply. Speaking of house rules, here are the house rules. Make sure to listen to your DM. While I made this world, other people might want to try to be a DM for an instance. They will have the very different rules than I will have, so my rules will not apply. Should players not have enough dice, there is a table to the right of the entrance where place more dice, which is that table over there. The DM sits behind the quote wall, which is right here, shown on the table. This is called the DM screen, like default, and it is their territory. Notes of the campaign are written here. Thou shalt not look. If you wish to take notes, I have provided a pad in front of each chair, which is what I showed you earlier, for you to take notes, or to use your own notebook IRL to take notes. I will tell you that is what you need to do before persistence comes out. Warn that there is no persistence just yet, so make sure you have at least a backup area to take notes IRL, like a notebook or a notepad for those of you on computer. The next rule, don't make fun of the DM. Don't make fun of the DM. We all DM in our own ways. It's okay to laugh with the DM, but it's not okay about the DM. Okay? If something's very funny and the DM loves it, oh yeah, go for it. Have some fun with that, guys. But don't laugh about the DM or say anything negative. The DM, the dungeon master, by the way, or the game master, is there to help you play D&D. They're the storytellers. They play the creatures. They play the NPCs. They play everything except for other characters. Treat them. Remember, this game is not about everybody versus the DM. No, it's about a storytelling game that deals with characters where the DM plays a huge part of the DM of the world. That's why the dungeon master is called that. Profanity rules are based on your DM. Meaning, if you have a DM that is not me, at your game, please follow the rules of profanity. Okay? Other rules may apply, as in the rules I have here are your very simple general house rules for the most part, but some other rules may apply based on your DM. So check with your DM if for your details when you come to this world, especially before. Make sure that your notes are up to date with your dungeon master. Okay, as well, so that when persistence comes out, I can add it as well. You can have your own data for your own stats. Okay. Now you may be wondering what is behind over here. Well, it's another area, but there's not just any other area. There's another table gaming area. Now, obviously, it's empty right now. That's because I'm setting up for another game called LCR, left, center, right, and I'm gonna make custom dice for that. So that's why this area is empty at this moment. But if you want to hang out here, use this as a hangout area. Take a break from the nerdy stuff. Yeah, go for it. Have some fun in here. Now, keep in mind, try your best. If there is a session, if there is a session going on in this room, try your best not to interrupt unless it is otherwise needed. Especially if the session is a live session, sometimes you might go live on it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, for the DM screen, yes, it's going to cover you guys up. I may consider removing the screen, but you still cannot look at the notes from the for DM. Try your best to not look at the notes from the DM. Now, I want to clarify one thing. If you are if you are not aware, the DM is allowed to change numbers on dice. So now you may be wondering, that's cheating, right? Well, there's a very special exception to this, especially as a dungeon master. If the dice roll, let's say I got a 12 15, I'm gonna call that 15 just so that no, actually it's a 12. That's actually a 12. That's on that's right there. It's above. No, it's a 2. That's a 2. Okay. But I'm gonna re-roll. That's a 15. Okay, let's just say that this attack is going to hit Tina here because the 14 of AC. But let's say her HP was down to 10 to 1. Now I could be nice and say I'm looking at that 15. I'm thinking about what Tina HP is. Okay, and I could change my number as a DM, and I'm gonna say the attack misses. But in reality, that attack hits because it's a 15 versus 14. Now, why would I do that? The reason why is because part of the game is the story. If I accepted the 15 and Tina's HP was already down to 1, any number kills her in some cases or knocks her out because of D&D. Do I want to do that this early in the story? Because there is a chance in D&D, because of death saves, you will have to roll dice. You don't do you want to do you in the story sense, do you want Tina to die early? If the answer is no, you're allowed to change the number. If the answer is yes and you accept the 15, then you continue as normal and roll damage. Okay, as a formality. So be very careful. The DM has the power to do that. Players do not. Players changing numbers is cheating. The DM's role is for the story purposes. For story purposes, the DM can change numbers. It's what you call fudging the roll. It's a term in D&D. Fudging the roll. It's literally what I just said. You're literally changing the roles so that characters can stay alive. That is the one rule of DMs. Attempt to to let your characters live by changing the dice roll. But that's the only exception to never to cheating. The DM is the only one allowed to do that. Players cannot. Players should not be able to do that. Okay, to be very careful when it comes to DMs, because I may add on the wall like a security camera system where I'm looking at the dice, or you're looking at the dice right here, like from where Shady is, like top down. I could add a camera system for the DM to look at, and the DM can look at it right here and say, "Hey, hey, I saw a 15 there. Don't change that." Okay, that's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, will I add it before I release this? Maybe, but yeah, try to not cheat. Now, what is this good for? What is this world good for in terms of the D&D landscape? I would say try to use it as a for short sessions, especially with no persistence. 1 hour sessions each, and then you can just re-input the stats um on the you can just re-input the stats here. Okay, I do have to fix some stuff here, but as you guys can see, this is a little bit of a new thing here. We're trying out for this year for Worlds. More interactive, more interactivity. Now keep in mind there are going to be box collider. So do keep that in mind as you write stuff down. I do need to fix some of these sections as well. So yeah. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Other things I plan to add over here will be just a regular snack session, snack area, roleplay snacks, and then you can just bring it to the table like they do in Critical Role. They have like water, ice, and stuff like that on the show. So yeah, I may also have a respawn number button so that if you lose your dice, you can bring it over here to your table. Now, as you guys can see, it's only for 4 players, 4 players including Dungeon Master. But if there is a if there is a desire for more players, then I will be happy to add more. But just for this particular build, I'm only limiting to 4, especially because we have the stuff on the table. Now, I will tell you, I am working on adding a role playing system menu so that it's easier for you guys to play. I will learn how to do that, but for this first build, I'm just gonna fix some of the stuff here so that it's easier to play. Other than that, the world will be released most likely very late tonight. And when I mean very late, I mean very late. Like around 12:05 a.m. or something. It should be in time for tomorrow's live stream with Sonic. When I play a Sonic. So yeah. Now, why is this world being made too? You may be wondering, what is this about too? This is not just about D&D or Dice or Fablecraft or LCR. This is about a new thing we're working on called Role Playing Thursdays. So basically, we're going to play a role playing game, either a video game like Tales of Symphonia, D&D, or Fablecraft, and we'll be playing them in here. once everything is settled down. Okay, so that is something that I'm working on for the future. The first um role play will be a regular D&D, but it's going to be from Roll 20. I recorded this earlier, late last year, so that's already done. The first one here may be as soon as next week. Okay, so we'll see what happens. All right, that's all for this little first look of the world. And again, I'm gonna add more stuff in here once we're good. And we will be seeing this world again tomorrow when I officially grand open it. So officially, welcome to the den. Welcome to the Yuki's Critter Den. Hopefully, we will be nice critters to you. Enjoy, and we'll see you when we roll in the den.